Part 12. Honghuang, I can reach the sky without realizing the great way, and I will never change my form to author, Honghuang Xiaoan. Chapter 111. Although now the Long Han tribulation has passed countless Yuanhui. But the Dragon Clan was the former overlord after all. However, the Dragon Clan now ignores their status as overlords and keeps such a low profile that one long bows and salutes. It is enough to prove how sincere the Dragon Clan is to Tongtian's gratitude. The great powers of the prehistoric times thought that the matter would stop after the Dragon Clan thanked them. But the next moment, the old Jinlong who bowed his head in salute said with a respectful look on his face, Saint Tongtian, I owe you the kindness of saving the clan by giving guidance back then. We, the Dragon Clan, can't repay you. From today on, we, the Dragon Clan, will be led by Saint Tongtian. Once Saint Tongtian gives an order, next, we will fight to the death with the Dragon Clan. Dragon Clan, pay homage to Lord Tongtian. Thousands of dragons showed respect and shouted in a loud voice. Before, the salute of 10,000 dragons could be described as shocking. Now, when one long sun reaches the sky and dominates, it can only be described as a sensation in the heaven and earth. Tisk tisk, 10,000 dragons worship Tongtian as their master. The Dragon Clan becomes the dragon of Zhejiao, and the luck and strength of Zhejiao will soar. Although the religion has just been established, it is no weaker than any other religion from now on. All the powerful men in the prehistoric era said in surprise with incredible expressions. The faces of Jian and Zunti from the Western sect were full of ugliness. Before, they thought of taking the Dragon Clan away. But it was unexpected. Now the Dragon Clan has worshipped Tongtian. Lord. If they want to rob, they can only use force. Senior brother, we can't just watch these tens of thousands of dragons become the dragons that intercept the teachings, why don't we start to snatch them? Zunti was obviously blinded by the Dragon Clan's luck. He actually wanted to snatch it. However, Jian shook his head with a stiff face and said, Junior brother, this method is absolutely impossible. Although fellow Taoist Tongtian has achieved Hunyuan enlightenment, he has just established a religion and achieved enlightenment, so his strength must be weaker than mine, so why not? Zunti asked curiously. Junior brother, we now have a demonic sect lurking beside us. If we offend fellow Taoist Tongtian this time, the power of the two sects will be difficult for our Western sects to resist, and Lingshan will be in another disaster. Jian tried to dissuade him with a fearful expression. After hearing this, Zunti immediately knew that his idea just now was too impulsive. Senior brother is right. The demon cult is lurking nearby. If we provoke fellow Taoist Tongtian again, we are creating another enemy for ourselves. This is so unwise. It's rare that Jian has such a clear mind this time. To be honest, if you dare to rob the Dragon Clan, you will definitely be seeking death. Yunshi's expressions are also stiff. The Dragon Clan is just a facade they want to use. But they worship Tongtian as their leader. Lord, they were naturally very unhappy in their hearts. However, the two of them thought that the Fengshen Liangjia would happen soon. As long as the Fengshen Liangjia destroyed Tongtian Taoism, everything would be theirs. Thinking of this, the displeasure on their faces immediately disappear. Senior brother, let the Dragon Clan give junior brother Tongtian a bit of prestige first, and we will seize them all one day. Yuanshi smiled and said. Good, I nodded. Countless Yuanhui ago, the Dragon Clan had worshipped Tongtian as their master. But they refused at that time. At that time, because Tongtian had not yet attained the great Dao, I did not want to get involved. But in my heart, Tongtian had already attained the Dao. Moreover, this Dragon Clan played an important role in the two calamities of conferring gods and journey to the west. How could Tongtian let it go? In this case, you will be the dragon of Zhejiao from now on, Tongtian nodded. Old Jinlong and other dragons all looked overjoyed. Thank you, Lord, for agreeing to accept dragons like me as your servants." Old Jinlong quickly saluted. "Lord, are we, the Dragon Clan, going to move the entire Dragon Clan to the Lord's dojo, so that we can serve the Lord more conveniently?" After a while, Old Jinlong asked with a respectful tone. The purpose of accepting the Dragon Clan as a servant is to let them play a role in changing the situation during the conferred gods and journey to the west. If they are allowed to move here, the meaning will be completely lost. Just stay in the endless sea, Tongtian Deo. "Yes, Lord," Old Jinlong nodded respectfully. "Since you have come thousands of miles away and respect me as my master, I cannot let you come back empty-handed. Anyone who comes today should have a chance." Tongtian waved his hand, and a mysterious force entered the Chaos Tianhe formation. The enlightenment tree in the Chaos Tianhe formation was seen shaking. 100,000 enlightenment tea leaves fell. "Practice!" Tongtian shouted, and the power of the Great Avenue was activated. 100,000 enlightenment tea leaves were refined into 10,000 green lights. This green light contained the meaning of powerful laws. Out. In an instant, 10,000 rays of green light appeared outside the Chaos Galaxy formation. But in just a blink of an eye, 10,000 rays of green light merged into Wanlong's body. The 10,000 rays of green light were the result of Tongtian refining 100,000 pieces of enlightenment tea leaves to increase enlightenment. The source of enlightenment of law probability. A green light is equivalent to the effect of 10 pieces of enlightenment tea. It does not mean that Wanlong can completely master the law, but at least it can increase it several times to become a law. At first, Wanlong did not know what this green light was. In front of everyone, after the dragon used his own magic power to practice, he immediately discovered that this was a great opportunity. The Dragon Clan of Jinxian and Delogo Jinxian now knew that it was an opportunity, but they could not use it. But the Dragon Clan who had reached the corpse-slaying level could immediately feel the benefits of great opportunities. Wanlong thanks the Lord for the opportunity. Ao Jin led Wanlong and saluted respectfully with a happy face. "Don't expose this opportunity to others, Tongtian Deo." "Yes, the Dragon Clan knows." Thousands of dragons saluted together. Only fools would reveal the opportunity to understand the laws of Taoism. Originally, Tongtian said that it was a chance to reward, and all the great powers in the ancient world didn't think it was anything. It's normal for a saint to accept servants, give some benefits, and show signs. But when they saw Wanlong being extremely happy, and there was a surprise in it. All the powerful people in the prehistoric era instinctively felt that the opportunity of being rewarded by Tongtian was definitely not simple. For a time, all the powerful people in the prehistoric era were curious. What kind of opportunity did Tongtian Saint have last time? The more than 10,000 dragons, whether they are under the Great Logo Jinxian or at the corpse-slaying level, the happy expressions on their faces are as if they have received an innate spiritual treasure. Yes, when it comes to innate spiritual treasures, even the Tongtian Saint would not be able to come up with more than 10,000 pieces. So it is definitely not an innate spiritual treasure, but what exactly is it? You can actually take out 10,000 copies at once. Even the saints were surprised by the enlightenment tea leaves, which is enough to prove the preciousness and rarity of the enlightenment tea leaves. 10 pieces of enlightenment tea leaves are absolutely no worse than an innate spiritual treasure, or even stronger. There is no other reason. Although the innate spiritual treasure can increase combat power, but it is only an external bonus. If the innate spiritual treasure is lost and destroyed, it will be useless. But the 10 pieces of enlightenment tea, and the rules learned from it, really increase one's own strength. Not only the great masters in the prehistoric era are curious. Even the 4 saints are the same. As Hunyuan saints, they are naturally stronger than quasi-saints in terms of strength and vision. However, even so, they can only feel a little more aura than quasi-saints. But they have never heard from its aura. Find out what it is. What on earth are those 10,000 rays of light? It actually has some aura of law. Senior brother, have you ever seen it clearly? Yuan Shi asked with a stern face. I have never seen it clearly. It is said to be a law, but it does not have any power of law. It is so strange, I shook my head. Senior brother, I feel that those 10,000 green lights are definitely a good thing, but I don't know what they are, Zunti's eyes flashed. I also felt it, it was definitely not a mortal thing. But all of a sudden 10,000 Dao, fellow Taoist Tongtian is really generous, Ji Yin said. Honghuang, I can reach the sky without realizing the great way, and I will never change my form to author, Honghuang Xiaoan. Chapter 112. Dragons are physically very strong. In the primitive world, except for the Wu clan, it can be said that no living being can compare with it. It is precisely because of this that he became the strongest overlord in the Long Han tribulation. But the physical body is strong, and its flaws are also obvious. That is a person born with a weak understanding of the law. The emergence of Wu Dao has obviously made up for this shortcoming of theirs. From now on, absolutely every one of the more than 10,000 dragons will be super powerful beings, at least comparable to the top quasi-sages. If 10,000 dragons attack together, a saint can also fight. The dragon clan deeply feels how kind Tongtian is. From now on, whenever the Lord orders, we, the dragon clan, will obey regardless of death. This is an oath and a determination. The dragon clan will follow Tongtian's footsteps for life. Tisk tisk, from now on, the dragon clan will rely on the saint, and now they have a great opportunity to be a saint. From now on, the dragon clan will not be able to mess with him. Moreover, one cannot easily provoke Zhijiao. If Saint Tongtian gives an order, thousands of dragons will appear, which will be extremely terrifying. All the mighty men from ancient times looked fearful. Dragon clan, bid farewell to the Lord. Wanlong lowered his hands and saluted. Soon Wanlong soared into the sky and returned towards the endless sea, his momentum still like a rainbow. The dragon clan left. Tongtian returned to the Chaos Galaxy formation. The prehistoric era does not remember years, and 2 Yuanhui will pass in the blink of an eye. There were no major events in these 2 Yuanhui. However, all the great masters in the prehistoric era who were capable of beheading corpses felt an unusual murderous intention. I don't know where this murderous intention came from. However, this murderous intention made a group of powerful people capable of beheading corpses and above, making everyone feel an instinctive fear. Many people are wondering whether something big will happen in the prehistoric times. Laozi Dojo. Laozi and Yuan Shi sit cross-legged in the void. Disciples of the 2 religions stood in front of me. Senior brother Laozi, the opportunity for our 2 religions to prosper has finally arrived. Yuan Shi's face was filled with joy. Yes, I have been waiting for 2 UN meetings, and the time is finally up today, I nodded. Ever since Tongtian signed the contract to become a god, the 2 saints have been waiting for the great catastrophe to come. Taking advantage of the great tribulation, they can activate the god and seize the fate of Tongtian Zhijiao. Now, the calamity has finally arrived. The 2 of them thought that this calamity was when they robbed Tongtian Zhijiao's powerful self-teacher, that's why they were so happy. Junior brother Yuanji, you are the master of this matter of becoming a god, and I am the assistant. I will leave it to you to handle the matters concerning the disciples of the 2 religions, Laozi said. Regarding the matter of conferring gods, the 2 of them have already agreed. This time, Yuanji Chanjiao will take the lead, and Chanjiao and Zhijiao will compete to cope with the disaster. I and Renjiao will help from the side. The 2 of them have always been calculating and suspicious in character, so naturally they did not come to this decision after a lot of negotiation. The 2 of them had calculated in their minds and each had their own abacus. I am cunning and calculating, and although I am also greedy, my character is he was more cautious than Yuanji. He thought that Yuanji would take the lead. If something happened to them in the Fengshen calamity tribulation, he and the Renjiao could immediately find an opportunity to escape. As for Yuanqi, greed outweighed caution, and he wanted to. After becoming a god, in the name of leadership, I gained more luck and opportunities. It can only be said that neither of them is a good person. Do you know why I have called you and others to gather here today? Yuanqi said to the disciples indifferently. Disciple, I don't know. Please tell me, teacher. Please let me know, uncle. Explaining the teachings, the disciples of both human and religious sects shook their heads. In the ancient land, every countless Yuanhui will have an immeasurable calamity, and this calamity is a calamity of killing. Neither the saints of heaven nor we are able to stop it. Yuanqi said that the disciples of the two sects all looked surprised. In their opinion, their teacher was the strongest in the world. And the saint of heaven was the one who controlled the way of heaven in the world. Even such a powerful existence, there was no way to stop this calamity. Everyone immediately understood how terrifying this calamity was. You don't have to be afraid. Although calamity is terrible, it cannot be resisted. But we have discussed with the teacher how to solve the problem by killing to stop killing. It has to be said that Yuanqi is very good at putting gold on his face. This plan to become a god was decided by Honghuang, and they were actually said to be involved. But the disciples didn't know the whole story, so they naturally believed it. Many of them believed it. The disciples admired their teacher very much for being able to discuss with the saints of heaven to figure out a way to solve such a terrible catastrophe. This killing calamity requires killing to stop killing, so the teacher and I decided on the strategy of conferring gods between the two religions. We explained that the religion is on the side of Fengshen, and the other side is the Jijiao of the three Yuanhui of Gangli section. The battle between the two sects stirred up the war among the human race. With the death energy of the 365 disciples of the sect and the death energy of endless living beings, this disaster can be solved. At this moment, all the disciples were shocked when they heard the words, and they had obviously understood. The general idea is that the battle of gods is equivalent to the war of sects. Moreover, 365 disciples will also die from the two sects. In a moment, the disciples of Changjiao and Renjiao were all a little frightened. Most of their disciples were pampered people. Because they had saints on their backs, there were very few scenes of fighting and killing outside. Teacher, then, are we all going to perish? Teacher, we still want to continue to serve you, so we cannot perish. During the explanation, several timid disciples cried and begged for mercy. Yuanqi's face froze for a moment. He was 100 times more confident in this calculation. He was sure that everything would be included. But unexpectedly, something happened to one of his disciples. The problem is that they are all cowards. Noisy. Yuanqi gave a cold scolding. A group of disciples immediately stopped talking. Why are you panicking? You are my disciples. It is related to the fate of my religion. How can you be easily ruined? Yuan. She said coldly. But, teacher, you said that the war between the two religions will result in the death of 365 disciples. We will wait, we will wait. All the disciples were squeaking, not daring to say any more for a while. Before all the disciples could finish speaking. Who said that when two religions fight, you and others will be the ones who perish? It only takes 3 Yuanhui to establish a Jijiao. How can my disciples compare with you and others? What's the fear? Besides, senior brother Laozi and I are planning against Jijiao. As long as you follow our calculations, the 365 disciples who will die will be from Jijiao, not you. Yuan. She said in a tone that said he hated iron for not becoming steel. Don't worry, for this time of conferring God's tribulation, I will be planning it together with you and other masters, and all the plans have been laid out long ago. Just wait and activate the conferred God's list. Not only will you not suffer any losses, you will also be able to take the opportunity to reap the luck of the human race and the opportunities of the Jijiao disciples. I said with a smile. Really? We will be fine. Can we still get luck from the human race, and have the opportunity to become disciples? In an instant, the Chanjiao and Renjiao disciples, who were a little scared before, all had lights on their faces. Of course, as your teacher, can we still lie to you about whether you can wait? Now, I ask you to wait. This time the Fengshen will go to the human race to deal with the calamity. Are you willing to wait? Yuanqi nodded and asked. If there is a danger of death, Chanjiao and Renjiao disciples will naturally be unwilling. But now, listening to the teacher's words, not only is there no danger, but also there are so many benefits. Then if you don't go, isn't it similar to a fool? Teacher, I am willing. The disciples of Chanjiao and Renjiao nodded as fast as chickens pecking at rice. Well, I will pass all the plans of me and your master and me into your minds, and you can follow our plans and go out of the dojo to execute them. Yuanqi waved his hand, and in an instant all the disciples of Chanjiao knew all about Yuanqi's layout. The teacher's plan is really clever. This time, the teacher will be destroyed. Hee, we have great benefits. The human dynasty has changed. We can reap the popularity and kill the disciples of Jijiao. How happy it is. The Jijiao from the three Yuanhui of Jiao are definitely no match for us this time. Chanjiao, the disciples of the two sects were full of confidence. The expressions on their faces seemed to be that they would definitely get great benefits from becoming gods. But after a while, the disciples of the two sects walked out one after another. Randen, you should go there too. If any of the disciples have miscalculated this time, please make up for it. Yuanqi explained to Taoist Randen, the deputy leader of Chanjiao. Yes, leader, the sinister-looking Taoist Randen nodded, and then followed closely behind the disciples of the two sects. Decades later, Yuanqi's disciples had already unfolded the layout of the original stone. Junior brother Yuanqi, it's almost time. It's time to activate the conferred gods and let junior brother Tongtian and his disciples cope with the calamity. I smiled sinisterly. Good. Yuanqi nodded. The list of gods appeared in front of Yuanqi. Today, Yuanqi signed the list of gods. From today on, Chanjiao will start a battle with Jijiao to become gods. The two sects are fighting, life or death, and the 365 disciples of the two sects have fallen and gathered together this incense god. That's it? The words fell. The list of gods is huge. Times, standing on the void. I saw that there were 365 divine titles in the middle of the list. On both sides of the list, there are names personally signed by saints from the two religions. In an instant, all the great powers from the prehistoric times came and stared at the battle between Chanjiao and Jijiao to become gods. The two saint sects are fighting each other, and 365 disciples are going to die. It will definitely be a terrible battle. I asked why the murderous intention emerged. It turns out that there is a saint sect that started the war. The sage sect has started a war, but it has never happened since the beginning of time. Now that the Chan sect and the Ji sect are starting to fight, how can all the great masters not be shocked? In the Western sect, unexpectedly, two fellow Taoists, Laozi and Yuanqi, actually tricked fellow Taoist Tongtian. Jiyan and Zunti looked surprised. They were also in Zixiao Palace at the time, so they knew very well about the matter of conferring gods. Conferring gods means the fall of the sect. Originally, they thought that the battle of conferring gods would be between Laozi and Yuanqi. Unexpectedly, now Yuanqi and Laozi have joined forces to deal with Tongtian. After being surprised, a gloomy look appeared on Jiyan's face. Junior brother, are we going to take part in this fight between the three religions? Zunti's eyes moved when he heard this. These two brothers are absolute masters. The introduction was just a beginning. Zunti immediately understood what he meant. Senior brother, you want to go to the three religions to find people who are related to our Western religion, right? Zunti said with a smile. Yes, the war between the three religions is chaotic, but our Western religion is peaceful. I think there should be many Taoist friends who are destined to our Western religion, Ji Yin nodded. Well, when this calamity officially begins, we can go there on our own, Zunti replied. In the previous life, they relied on the great tribulation of conferring gods to directly strengthen the Western religion. But in this life, their ideas can only be said to be too beautiful, and the good things cannot be realized. The Yuanqi of Changjiao issued an order battle of the gods. But at this moment, Tongtian has not responded. For a time, countless eyes are focused on Zhijiao. Zhijiao. In the Chaos Tianhe formation. As early as 100 years ago, Nuo had refined Tongtian's will of the Great Road. Originally, the realm of Hunyuan is only the 4th level of Hunyuan, but now it has reached the 6th level of Hunyuan. Tongtian, fellow Taoist Yuanqi has started to become a god, Nuo said with a smile. Nuo was very worried about Tongtian before. But after knowing that Tongtian is an unknown Taoist, she no longer has any worries. Among the Fengshen sect, the final competitor is the saint. Tongtian is so strong, in her opinion, Yuanqi is just seeking his own death. I have been waiting for a long time. Let's go, it's time for us to go out. Tongtian waved his hand, and the Chaos Galaxy formation opened. The body of the great Dao Saint was flying across the sky, and Nuo followed closely. But in the blink of an eye, he had arrived at the Supreme Palace outside the Chaos Galaxy formation. At this moment, the disciples who were originally in the Supreme Palace, already standing outside the Supreme Palace. Teacher, that Changjiao actually started a sect war. The original saint went too far. Jinjia and other disciples spoke with a bit of excitement. I already know it. No need to get excited. Tongtian nodded and smiled, then glanced at the disciples. Among the disciples, Guiling, Zhao Gongming Sangxiao, and Kong Xian have all killed 3 corpses. However, most of the disciples below the Golden Pinion only killed 1 corpse. At this moment, all the great masters and saints in the prehistoric era saw the strength of Tongtian's current disciples. It seems that the time for Saint Tongtian to establish his religion was still too short. There were only 6 disciples, and 3 corpses were killed. Most of the others had just beheaded 1 corpse, even Deluo Jingxian. The 12 disciples of Chan's teaching have all killed 3 corpses, and many of the 3rd-generation disciples have reached the level of killing 1 corpse. This time of the battle between the conferred god sect, I am afraid it will be mysterious to intercept the sect. All the powerful men shook their heads and said. In the Zixiao Palace. It's a pity that although my disciple has great talents and great opportunities, I can't save him if this calamity falls on him, Hung Jun shook his head. Obviously, at this moment, even Hung Jun felt that Tongtian would definitely lose. Western religion. In the battle to become gods, I am afraid Taoist Tongtian will be defeated, Zunti said. Well done, Taoist friend Tongtian has so many disciples, and I think many of them are related to us and the West, Ji Yin said with a smile. The two of them looked at Ji Jiao as if they were looking at a treasure. Laozi Dojo. Although junior brother Tongtian has so many disciples, few of them are really useful. We will definitely win this time, Yuanqi said confidently. In Yuanqi's opinion, the strength of his 12 disciples is now enough to beat all the current disciples of Tongtian. It has to be said that because Tongtian established the religion late, some of his disciples have not yet reached the strength of their previous lives. However, just seeing the disciples like Tongtian in front of him, Yuanqi was confident that he would win. It can only be said that he was thinking too much. Back then, it was a great opportunity for us to deceive junior brother Tongtian into the conferred gods list. Now that the conferred gods list is launched, junior brother Tongtian must know that he has been deceived. Zixiao Palace was so powerful back then, so today we should know how powerful we too are. I said with a sinister smile on my face. Yes, the two of us fell behind him many times back then, so today it is his fault. Yuan Shi nodded. The two of them thought they had deceived Tongtian, but in fact, they dug a pit for themselves. And this pit is still bottomless. If they can't get up, they will have no chance to get up. Junior brother Yuanji, now junior brother Tongtian knows the truth about the conferred gods list. He probably doesn't want to send his disciples to deal with the disaster, so we should speak out and force him, I said. That's how it should be. He signed the contract to become a god, and everything was out of his control, Yuanji sneered. Suddenly, two holy sounds filled the air. Junior brother Tongtian, conferred god battle. Although we have not told you the truth, as long as you sign the contract, you have no choice but to refuse. Lao Zi's holy voice appeared strong. On the Supreme Palace. Tongtian smiled. I never said I would refuse. Then why don't you quickly send your disciples to deal with the calamity? Yuan Shi said coldly. My disciples are not complete yet, I am waiting for their return, Tongtian said indifferently. Liushan and other 6 disciples, but Tongtian has never summoned them. They are just waiting for the conferred god to be opened. Not because they want to hide it, but because they are afraid that the 2 sects will know about their 6 disciples and then guess that they are unknown Taoists. Due to his identity, he dared not open the conferred gods list. But today, Yuanji also signed the conferred gods list. And opened the conferred gods list. Then the time has come. What? Saint Tongtian still has disciples. It's impossible. Aren't all his disciples here? The great masters of the prehistoric era were very curious. I and Yuan Shi also looked puzzled. They had witnessed Tongtian accepting disciples before. They naturally knew how many disciples there were. They were almost all in front of them. Why did Tongtian say this? Are there still not enough disciples? Tongtian, could it be that the few people you helped in the past were all your disciples? Everyone else looked puzzled. However, Nuwa, who knew Tongtian's other identity, was suddenly shocked. Before, Tongtian had never told her about having other disciples. But now that Tongtian said this, she immediately then it rang out, once Tongtian helped the demon clan, the witch clan, and the demon sect. What do you think? Otherwise, do you think I am really bored helping people who have nothing to do with me? Tongtian nodded and smiled. Senior sister Guiling, let's teach you, are there any other senior brothers? After the establishment of the sect, several disciples of Jinjia who entered Tongtianmen asked in a low voice towards Guiling. Nature, the turtle spirit smiled mysteriously. Then, how are those senior brothers fighting? Can you deal with the disciples of Chan Xiao? Jinjia asked again. The senior brothers above us all deal with Yuan Shi, not to mention those who deal with the disciples of Chan cult. Bixiao from Sangxiao smiled. In an instant, Ji Jiao Jinhao and other disciples looked shocked. However, before they could ask more questions, the holy sound of the great Dao came out. My disciple, if you don't return to Jijiao now, when will you wait? The sacred sound of the great road crosses the 3 realms. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Honghuang, I can reach the sky without realizing the great way, and I will never change my form to author, Honghuang Xiaoan. Chapter 113. Western Demonic Cult. Pangu Hall of the Wu Clan. Monster Clan 10,000 Monster Mountain. The mansion of the Holy Mother of Humanity. Under the 18 levels of hell. Suddenly, showing a strong momentum. The teacher finally called us to join the teaching. One after another seemed to have been waiting for a long time, and at the same time there were very excited voices. Since the establishment of the sect, Wuxian, Duobao, Tongjixiang, Jinling, Wuodang, and Kasidagarba are all waiting. Today, the wait is finally over. Here we are. Suddenly, in the palace of the three realms, a ghostly light appears in the void. What's going on? Someone is coming out of the underworld. Is it possible that there are disciples of the Tongtian saint in the underworld? Who is that? The faces of all the powerful officials in the prehistoric era were shocked. After the light of the netherworld emerged, a golden light in the shape of a human appeared. That golden light is a merit. So many merits. Who in the underworld can have such merit? A series of surprised eyes stared away. Merit is comparable to the existence of luck. Among all the great powers in the ancient world, there are only a few people who can possess them. Even if they have it, it is just a faint light. So dazzling, so eye-catching, except for envy can only be envy. You and she, were also stunned. But the eyes of the Western religions Jiyan and Zunti were dull. They had an idea ready to come out, but they didn't dare to believe it. Today I, Kasidagarba, return to Jijiao. I am the sixth disciple of Jijiao. Pay homage to the teacher. The human form in the golden light of merit finally revealed its figure. Kasidagarba. The sixth disciple of Jijiao. Kasidagarba, is he the Kasidagarba who once incarnated into the underworld and entered the underworld? Tisk tisk, it turned out to be him. I didn't expect that he turned out to be the sixth disciple of Jijiao. The surprised voices of the powerful people came out. How can it be? I and you and she couldn't believe it. This is really him. Jiyan and Zunti's expressions froze. Kasidagarba and the others were too familiar with it. They once took a fancy to the merits of the underworld, and originally planned to select a great Buddha from their own Western religions to enter the underworld and gain merits for their Western religions. But it didn't work. I thought, Kasidagarba had been beaten to it. His face was stiff, but his eyes were even more jealous. He was jealous of Kasidagarba's merits. If his merits had been won by the Western religion, the Western religion would not be in such a miserable state now. There is no chance for me to join Jijiao, only merit. Dear fellow disciples, today Chanjiao and our Chanjiao are starting a sectarian war, and I will give you merit and protection. After Kasidagarba finished speaking, he waved his hand, and a ball of golden light of merits and virtues instantly fell on every disciple of Jijiao. In the blink of an eye, the golden light of merits and virtues was added to all the disciples of Jijiao, making them very imposing. Everyone in Jijiao, the disciples, suddenly looked overjoyed. They did not expect that the senior brother they had just met would be so generous to them. He would give them golden light of merit when they met. This is merit. Merit has endless magical effects and can increase strength and opportunities. This was something they had never thought of before. Dare to think. Guiling, thank you so much, senior brother. Thank you very much, brother. Thank you very much, senior brother. Guiling, Sangxiao, Zhao Gongming, and Kong Suanjin's disciples all saluted one after another. All the great masters in Honghuang saw this scene, and their eyes were red. To give such merit when you meet this, why didn't I join Jijiao in the first place? It's a pity, it's a pity. If we join, we can also share the merits. Many people are full of regrets about being powerful in the ancient world. Back then, they all looked at the Jijiao to establish the religion. They also watched the Jijiao to recruit disciples. Although the Supreme Palace is difficult to enter, it cannot stop them from killing corpses. Laozi and Yuanqi looked at each other. When they met to give each other merits, not only did they not have such generous disciples in the two sects, but they also had no disciples with such merits. The jealousy in the eyes of Jiyan and Zunti was even greater. In the past, these merits were all there. The opportunity is theirs. However, they can only watch others give favors. Saint Tongtian said that he has 6 disciples who have not returned. The first of these 6 disciples is Kesidagarba, the king of meritorious deeds. I wonder who the 5 disciples above will be. The great powers of the prehistoric era had curious faces on their faces. After Kesidagarba gave the merits to his junior brothers, he stood behind Tongtian. Suddenly, among the human race, 2 powerful fortunes soared into the sky. At an extremely fast speed, coming towards Zhejiao. What a huge pair of fortunes! Who are these 2 lucky people? Everyone is looking forward to it. Today, I am the Holy Mother of Jinling. I am not a Holy Mother and belong to the Ji Church. I should not be the 5th disciple of Ji Xiao, and my Jinling should be the 4th disciple of Ji Xiao. Pay homage to the teacher. After the 2 huge strands of luck stopped, 2 delicate bodies were revealed. The 2 holy ladies of the human race. They turned out to be the 4th and 5th disciples of Zhejiao. These 2 holy mothers have achieved the honorable status for countless Yuanhui. I remember that when Saint Lao Tzu attained enlightenment, these 2 became holy mothers. Unexpectedly, they would be the 4th and 5th disciples of Saint Tongtian. The sound of surprise was like thunder again. The 2 holy mothers of the human race have achieved long-lasting honors. All the great masters in the prehistoric era know each other, so why don't the 4 saints know each other? Jiyan and Zunti looked stunned. Yuan Shi looked shocked. He himself, the 12 disciples under his sect are all good in strength, but in terms of merit and virtue, they are not as good as Kesidagarba, and now in terms of luck, they are not as good as the 2 holy mothers of the human race. If the 2 sects go to war, a meritorious and golden Kesidagarba, plus the 2 holy mothers were enough to challenge his 12 disciples. The receptionist Zunti was just stunned, Yuanji was just shocked. But my whole face turned dark. It's them, it's them. They turned out to be Jijiao disciples. I have an angry look on my face. Senior brother, do you know them? Yuanji asked in surprise. It's more than just acquaintance. For me, it's no less than a mortal enemy. When I used the human race to prove the Tao and establish a religion, it was the 2 of them who took away 40% of my luck. Back then, I could have proven to be the strongest luck saint in the world. However, in the end, I only won 60% of the human race's luck and became an ordinary luck saint. The resentment in my heart has continued for so many years. 40% luck, no wonder these 2 women have such a huge aura of luck, Yuan Meal. We belong to the Zhejiao sect, and we don't have the same merits and virtues as the 6th junior brother, nor do we have any other special qualities. We only have a little bit of luck. Junior brothers, today we will give you and others some luck to help you and others in the battle between the 2 religions and show a little more power. After Jinling Wudain finished speaking, the 2 of them waved their hands together. Wisps of luck appeared. After a moment, they fell on the disciples of Ji Xiao. Thank you, senior sister Jinling, and thank you, senior sister Wudain. The expressions of all the disciples were even more ecstatic. Previously, Kesidagarba gave them merit and gave them a golden body, and now he also added luck. Although most of them can only kill 1 corpse, with this merit, golden body, and luck, its overall strength has been completely improved, and even if one of them faces 2 zombies, he will not be afraid. Is Zhejiao so powerful? First it was merit, and now it's luck. The disciples of Zhejiao are really so happy. The disciples of Zhejiao have these merits and fortunes, and now their strength is equal to that of Chanxiao. The eyes of all the powerful officials in the prehistoric era became even redder. They were all surprised and extremely envious. They received Yin and Zunti, feeling very sad in their hearts. Why are the disciples of other sects so rich and capable? On the other hand, in my own sect, not to mention the small number of people, everyone is poor and has no ability at all. When I saw Jin Ling Wudaing randomly sending out luck, I felt like Jian Zunti before seeing Kesadagarba sending merit, and almost vomited blood in anger. Yuan Shi's face already felt the crisis at this moment. After this, the strength of the two religions has almost become equal. However, there are still 3 disciples of Jijiao who have not yet come out. The first 3 have already given luck and merit. I don't know what else will be given in the future, and how they will improve their ability to intercept and teach. 3 of the 6 disciples have emerged, and they all have great origins. I wonder if the disciples at the back are even more powerful. I am really getting more and more curious. All the great masters in the prehistoric era did not dare to blink. The reason was simply that they were afraid of missing the next Jijiao disciple who was about to appear. A shocking demonic energy rose across the sky and swept through the void for hundreds of millions of miles. In this demonic aura, there is incomparable arrogance and domineering power. A giant stick holding up the sky was the first to appear in front of everyone. This giant stick, why does it look so familiar? And its evil spirit, I also feel it is strangely familiar. This demonic energy seems to be coming from the direction of Wanyeo Mountain. Could it be? All the great powers and saints from the prehistoric era all looked at each other. Although the previous ones had great origins and high positions, they were not powerful. But the current one is different. Honghuang, I can reach the sky without realizing the great way, and I will never change my form to author, Honghuang Xiaoan. Chapter 114. A shocking demonic aura passed by. The body of a demonic monkey appeared. This monster monkey has fierce eyes and a domineering aura. Holding a sky stick, standing in the void. It's him, it's really him. Whether it is the great powers of the ancient times or the saints. When they saw the face of the demon monkey clearly, their eyes were shocked. Today, I, the king of 10,000 demons, join the Ji sect. I am the 3rd disciple of Ji Xiao. Pay homage to the teacher. After the Tongba monkey said something fiercely, he bowed respectfully to Tong Tian. The king of all demons of the demon clan is in charge of the general trend of the demon clan. He himself is even more powerful in combat, and he also possesses a defensive treasure made from the fragments of the Chaos Bell. The demon king of the Thong-armed ape clan is in charge of the destiny of the demon clan. Unexpectedly, he would be the 3rd disciple of Saint Tong Tian. Tisk tisk, the disciples of Saint Tong Tian are really more powerful than the other. There was an endless stream of shocking and astonishing voices from all the powerful people in the ancient world. Among the 4 saints, Jiyan and Zunti were once again stunned. This ape was once the one they had always wanted to extradite to the west. However, unexpectedly, it was disciples of Tong Tian. When Laozi and Yuanqi saw the Tongbai ape, their expressions turned extremely ugly. The 2 saints once intended to seize the lich. The 2 tribes targeted the unknown Taoist and sent Lu Ya. They also gave Lu Ya a treasure, Zhan Xianfei. Knife. In the end, Lu Ya was killed by the ape, and the immortal killing flying knife was also obtained by the ape. The 2 saints ended up in vain. I don't have anything else, but I am in charge of the demon clan and have many evil beasts under my banner. Today I will give each of you junior brothers an evil beast as a mount. Come out. The ape yelled, and 1 evil beast emerged from the void. These evil beasts were extremely ferocious in the void. But when they came in front of the ape, they all behaved like nothing. From the expressions of those evil beasts among them, it can be seen that they are very afraid of the monkeys. Although these evil beasts are afraid of the monkeys, if you look carefully, each of them has reached the early stage of quasi-sage. The evil beasts are no better than other creatures, they are the great calamity of ferocious beasts from the ancient times is left over. The number is already rare, and those at the quasi-sage level are even rarer. In one fell swoop, the thong-armed ape gave each of his junior disciples an evil beast, which shows his handiwork. Although it is not luck and luck. Merit, but with this evil beast, the combat power of his junior brothers will soar again in a straight line. So many evil beasts from the early stage of quasi-sainthood. The king of 10,000 demons is worthy of being the king of 10,000 demons. With so many evil beasts, I'm afraid no one else can take them out. Tisk tisk, Jijiao has a monkey, and if these evil beasts are added to it, the luck and strength will soar. The great masters of the prehistoric era said in shock. At this moment, Laozi and Yuanqi no longer had the same confidence as before. Their faces looked very heavy. There is no other reason. Jijiao is getting stronger and stronger. In the battle of conferred God, they want to destroy Jijiao. But now, it seems that Jijiao is stronger than them. The third disciple of Jijiao is already in charge of the general situation of the clan. Who will the second disciple and senior brother be? The great masters of the prehistoric era continued to wait eagerly. The next moment, a light of energy and blood spread across the sky from hundreds of millions of miles away from the void. A vision appeared, and in an instant, the great masters of the prehistoric world all stared at it. Where is that? Why do I look in the direction of Pangu Palace of the Wu clan? Could it be that the Witch clan also has disciples of the Tongtian saint? It's impossible. The Wu clan cultivates the physical body and never cultivates the soul. How can the Wu clan become a disciple of Tongtian saint? All the great masters in the prehistoric era were shocked. The evil beast Tianhu, which had always been a quasi-sage and killed 3 corpses, appeared in front of everyone. This Tianhu had a body of 10,000 feet, with blood-colored wings on its back, and was fierce. Looking carefully, I saw on Tianhu's back stood a fat Taoist. The fat Taoist had a calm aura and showed some wisdom in his eyes. Who is that? Who is this Taoist? How could I not recognize him? The great masters of the ancient world were shocked. The great masters of the ancient world have never seen this Taoist, but the 4 saints have. The pupils of the 4 saints shrank for a while. The wizards of my witch clan have many treasures and belong to the Jijiao religion. I am the second disciple of Jijiao. Meet the teacher. Duobao stood on top of the evil beast of the sky tiger and bowed to Tongtian. Duobao rarely came out of the witch clan, so not many people saw him. However, the name of the witch wizard was widely spread throughout the world. After the death of the ancestral witch, there is a wizard in the Wu clan. This wizard is second only to the ancestral witch and now controls all the Wu clan. It turned out to be a wizard from the Wu clan. This person was also in charge of the overall situation of the clan. It's too scary. I won't talk about the 4, 5, and 6 disciples of Jijiao, but the background of these second and third disciples must be too big. There are demon tribe monkeys in front, and there are witch tribe wizards behind. The eyes of all the powerful men in the prehistoric period showed shock. Yuan Shi, and Ji Yanzunti did not expect that a small Taoist would transform into a wizard after the Lich tribulation. They also did not expect that he is actually a disciple of Tongtian. I am in charge of the witch clan, and I have never owned any of the most precious or evil beasts. However, there is a tree in Pangu Palace, and the fruit of this tree is called witch fruit. Although you junior fellow apprentices have your teacher's fire of chaos to temper your physical body, it takes time to refine it. However, my witch fruit can allow your physical body to rise to 2 realms in a short time. Today I will give it to all the junior brothers to help them. When they have the soul, they still have a strong physical body, and they can explain the teachings in a battle. Duobao waved his hand. Countless witch fruits fell into the hands of Jijiao disciples. Thank you, second senior brother Duobao. All the disciples of Jijiao looked overjoyed. They have tempered their physical bodies with the fire of chaos, and now their physical bodies are almost on par with the Yuan Shen. But with this witch fruit, their physical bodies will be stronger than the Yuan Shen. Witch fruit, actually a witch fruit. I heard that every witch fruit witch born in the witch clan can take 1 pill. Although it can only be taken once in a lifetime, under the ancestral witches, after taking it, the physical body can become stronger in 2 realms. Tisk tisk, all the disciples who appeared in Jijiao are those who possess great treasures. Now I really regret it. I really should have joined the Ji cult in the first place. I am jealous of this opportunity to kill 3 corpses. The expressions of remorse among all the great masters of the great desolate world are even more serious at this moment. It's all because the things brought out by Tongtian's disciples are so good. They are so good that even they who killed 3 corpses didn't even have them. Now the disciples of Jijiao, first of all he gained merit, then luck, then evil beasts, and now there is the witch fruit. Its combat power can be said to have increased several times. Now that Jijiao is so strong, I and fellow Taoist Yuanqi may lose this battle to become gods. Western teachings lead the way. I think so too. I never thought that fellow Taoist Tongtian would secretly have so many backup plans. After Zunti said in a surprised tone, he suddenly remembered something. Brother, have you noticed that these disciples of Tongtian were all related to the unknown Taoist? In an instant, Ji Yin's face suddenly changed. Junior brother, if you don't say it, I don't think so. When you say it, it seems that it's really, junior brother, we'd better take a look at the matter of going to the 3 religions to extradite fellow Taoists to the West this time, Ji Yin said vigilantly. The nameless Taoist can be called Fear. Just mentioning this name made the 2 saints a little scared. Senior brother, it seems that our plan to become a god is going to be a little difficult. Yuanqi had a sullen face. He said it was a little difficult, but in fact he was just trying to comfort him. Ji Jiao is obviously several times stronger now. Isn't it just a little difficult? Junior brother Yuanqi, there is no need to panic. It is not impossible for us to win. I have a gloomy look in my eyes. 5 of the 6 disciples have been born, and only 1 senior brother is left. The great powers of the prehistoric era were looking carefully at the world, trying to find where the last disciple of Jijiao came from. Suddenly, on the prehistoric land, demonic energy swept out. A ray of demonic power came out from the west and crossed the sky. Billions of miles away. The demonic energy appears and the demonic power appears. Honghuang, I can reach the sky without realizing the great way, and I will never change my form to author, Honghuang Xiaoan. Chapter 115. Demonic energy and power emerged from the west. The first ones to be discovered should be Ji Yin and Zunti. What happened? Why did Wu Tian of the demon sect move? The 2 of them were stunned. Immediately afterwards, all the powerful people in the prehistoric era felt that there is evil energy filling the world. There is still demonic power in this demonic aura. Could this be the demon saint of the demon sect? The first demon saint in the prehistoric times actually appeared, and his direction and purpose seemed to be to teach Jija. The great powers of the prehistoric world were extremely shocked. At this moment, the great powers of the prehistoric world have thought of a possibility in their minds. But this possibility is too surprising and too unbelievable. No one dares to say it. I and Yuanqi's expressions changed. Something is wrong. They, like all the powerful men in the prehistoric times, have the same possibility in their minds. But they don't want this possibility to become true. However, it is a pity that Yuanqi's wish is destined to be disappointed. After one breath, the demon saint, already towering above the void of Jijiao. Today our demon sect has no heaven and has been classified as a Ji sect. I am the senior brother of Jijiao. Liushan, meet the teacher. The demon lord saluted respectfully towards Tongtian. The demon lord was fierce and arrogant in front of everyone. But only in front of Tongtian, he put away his fierce and arrogant attitude. The first demon saint is actually a disciple of Saint Tongtian. Isn't this terrible? Senior brother Jijiao is actually the demon saint. This, I really can't even think about it. The eyes of the powerful people in the prehistoric era were as if they had seen great terror, and their pupils shrank one after another. It is normal for the leader of a sect to be a saint. But among the current prehistoric sects, no disciple of any sect can be a saint. Except for interception. The demon saint is actually a disciple of fellow Taoist Tongtian? This is simply incredible, right? Ji Yanzunti was dumbfounded. They never thought that the demon saint Wuxian who brought trouble to the Western sect would be a disciple of the Ji sect. Senior brother, we must not participate in this catastrophe, Zunti said with a look of determination. Yes, that's what I think too, it's better not to participate in this divine calamity. At this moment, I feel that conferring the title of God to measure calamity is not a conspiracy between Yuan Shi and Laozi, Taoist friend Tongtian. I actually feel as if fellow Taoist Tongtian has plotted against fellow Taoist Laozi and Yuan Shi. This fellow Taoist Tongtian, his disciples are all related to the unknown Taoist. I think Taoist Tongtian will never be so simple on the surface. If we go out this time to become gods, we might get caught. Jiyan nodded in agreement and said. Before, the two of them looked at the impending disaster of the conferred gods, thinking of all kinds of opportunities to fish for people. But now, they don't dare. The trend of cutting off the teachings makes them feel scared. Especially yes, the disciples under Tongtian are all related to the unknown Taoist, and they dare not take risks. When the demon saint appeared, Laozi and Yuanji had a look of panic in their eyes. The demon saint joined, and now the Jijiao is so powerful that it has far more than the combined efforts of Chanjiao and Renjiao. They were once very confident, but with the return of Jijiao's disciples one after another, their self-confidence has long since disappeared. Not only were the great masters and saints in the prehistoric era shocked, it was Jijiao who established the section Kongxian, and other disciples who entered later were also shocked. The senior brothers and sisters in front of them were already very powerful. I didn't expect that their senior brother was even stronger and was already a saint. How powerful is their Jijiao, who can compare with them? Wuxian uses demons to become saints, and the focus of demons is to kill them. Today, I will give you my killing thoughts to all my junior brothers. The two sects are fighting. If the Chen religion dares to be arrogant, all your junior brothers can just use my killing thoughts and kill. The word kill came out, and the ferocious aura was revealed. In an instant, countless jet black auras suddenly appeared and entered the disciples of Jijiao respectively. In an instant, the disciples of Jijiao felt how terrifying this murderous intention was. If you have this killing intention to protect yourself, you must not be killed unless you are a saint. Thank you, big brother. Ji taught all the disciples and thanked them repeatedly in surprise. The demon saint's killing intention. This is quite a magical power bestowed by a saint. With this killing intention, a saint has nothing to fear. However, this killing intention consumes the saint's origin. This demon saint is really generous for the sake of his junior brothers. If the disciples of Chan cult have this murderous intention, they will not be in any danger if they participate in this sect war. Such a courageous senior brother, such a powerful Ji Xiao. Why didn't I join in the first place? Missing such an opportunity in vain is equivalent to losing the chaos spiritual treasure. All the powerful men in the prehistoric era were shocked and regretful. When Wu Tian sent the killing intention to all the junior brothers, and Yuan Shi's eyes trembled. As saints, they knew very well that they had to draw out their own original power. Only then can the two sects be united. How can the two sects fight against each other if Wuxian sacrifices himself to protect all the junior disciples like this? Yuanshi, my two Taoist friends, you are probably being plotted against me now. Nu Wa, who had been standing aside, had a look of ridicule on her face. Nu Wa's holy voice came out. The expressions of Laozi and Yuan Shi suddenly changed. Counter-calculation? What did Nu Wa mean by these words? Lao Tzu, Yuan Shi, Do you really think that I don't know that becoming a god is a way to solve calamities? You underestimate me. Tongtian said coldly, directly piercing the hearts of Laozi and Yuanqi. Does he know how to measure calamity? We are waiting for Tongtian to plot and cooperate with him to see everything in his eyes. So many disciples of Tongtian are just waiting for their father, Yuanqi, to activate the canonization of gods before letting them return? I was so angry that I almost vomited blood. However, in the eyes of Tongtian, I was like a clown. The heaven and earth are about to be born for a calamity. I, Yuanqi, intend to deceive me, Ji Qiao, to cope with the calamity and make my Ji Qiao orthodoxy fall. What will you do as my disciple? The indifferent voice that reached the sky spread to the ears of all the disciples of Ji Qiao. Kill. Wuxian took the lead and spat it out once, and the murderous intent of heaven and earth was shining brightly. Our disciples should act as interceptors and kill everyone. The disciples of Ji Qiao followed closely behind, showing strong killing intent. Good. Guiling, you take all the junior disciples to teach, and send the disciples to the list. The sky-reaching hand waved, as if pointing a sword towards the sky. His eyes were strong and domineering, and his momentum was fierce and arrogant. Respect the teacher's order. Guiling, Zhao Gongming, Sang Xiao, Kong Xian, and other disciples left Ji Qiao one after another and entered the human race. The moment the sword pointed at the sky, all the powerful people felt a heart palpitation that killed everything. As for Laozi and Yuanqi, as saints in charge of the same religion, they instinctively felt that their two religions had a feeling that their lives were hanging by a thread. The Hunyuan saint has reached the heaven and earth, and this feeling is equivalent to a high possibility. Will really appear. The expressions of the two people changed in shock. In the next 100 years, during the period when the three religions are facing calamity, whoever dares to intervene. If I cut off the teaching, it will be destroyed. Tongtian once again swept the world with a murderous aura. In this murderous aura, Tongtian did not deliberately use any power, but Tongtian was already a saint of the Tao, and he followed his words. Before, all the great masters in the prehistoric era were just palpitating. But at this moment, they really felt the body. The road to death eliminates the crisis. What a terrible murderous intention. As the saying goes, the heaven is definitely not as simple as it appears. Speaking of Tongtian, it's not easy. I just remembered that these disciples of Tongtian are all related to the unknown Taoist. The unknown Taoist has all helped disciples like Tongtian. Could it be that Tongtian is an unknown Taoist, but his aura and holy power are not the same? This is so strange. All the powerful people in the ancient world looked panicked and made various guesses. What a terrible murderous intention, junior brother. Fortunately we have decided not to interfere in the affairs of the three religions. Otherwise, this murderous intention may be against us. Yes, what a fluke, what a fluke. The two Western teachers, Jian and Zunti, looked frightened. How could this be? Probably the trajectory has been clear before. My disciple Tongtian Taoism will fall, but why is the momentum so shocking now? Looking back at my disciples Laozi and Yuanqi, it seems that the two religions are about to lose. In the Zixiao palace, a look of surprise suddenly appeared in Hung Jun's eyes. When Hung Jun signed the conferment of gods in Tongtian, he had already predicted the general trend of heaven. However, the general trend has now changed and reversed. My disciple can reach the sky, it is so mysterious. Not only was my disciple Laozi Yuanqi kept in the dark, but Tiandao and I were also plotted. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Honghuang, I can reach the sky without realizing the great way, and I will never change my form to author, Honghuang Xiaoyan. Chapter 116. The 6 disciples of Ji Qiao returned. It almost caused an earthquake. No one had ever thought that Zhijiao was so powerful. He was so powerful that there were even saints among his disciples. There are also two major clans in the prehistoric times, the Demon Clan and the Witch Clan. Laozi Dojo. Laozi and Yuanqi looked very ugly. The disciples who came out one after another before seemed to be pointed at the two of them with a sharp sword, thrusting in bit by bit. I thought that the opportunity of Zhijiao's luck was inevitable. However, now the strength of Zhijiao has soared, and the combat power of his disciples has soared. I didn't expect that junior brother Tongtian was hiding so deeply. After I looked ugly for a moment, my eyes darkened, and I showed a bit of anger. It is indeed beyond our expectations. The two holy clans under our sect are really powerful. However, no matter how strong their Zhijiao is, he, Tongtian, and the demon saint have only just entered a few Hunyuan saints. Our disciples are now no match for the disciples of Chan Xiao, but we are not afraid of junior brother Tongtian and Wuxian. Yuanqi said with a straight face and a somewhat strong expression. In the eyes of the teacher and Yuanqi, although the Zhijiao disciples have been given various enhancement opportunities by Tongtian's 6 disciples, they are as powerful as a rainbow. But they are just disciples, and Tongtian is no more than a talented person. Establishing a religion is definitely just a matter of proving Hunyuan. And Wuxian is only a few Yuan Hui earlier, and he is still a disciple of Tongtian, so his strength is not very strong. But they have already reached the 7th level of Hunyuan, and this is their last the confidence. Without this confidence, Laozi and Yuanqi would never have been so calm. So far, among the saints in the 7th heaven of Hunyuan, this realm is undoubtedly the highest and the strongest. However, it is a pity. Tongtian is no longer Hunyuan, but the realm of the great Dao above Hunyuan. Disciples of Chan Xiao, since they came to the human race, they have been busy explaining their calculations and layouts from Yuanqi. It must be said that Yuanqi is worthy of being the number one in the prehistoric times. The power of calculation. The human race and the emperor alternate, and the two religions confer gods. Everything is calculated and used to strengthen the Chan sect. After the calculation is opened, after the god is conferred, the Chan sect will definitely prosper, enjoy the luck of the human race, and seize the opportunity to intercept the sect. But very soon it's a pity that Zhijiao has undergone earth-shaking changes. What's even more pity is that the disciples of Chan Jiao are so busy planning that they don't pay attention to the changes in Zhijiao just now. The human race's song. The human emperor Xian Gang conquered the 4 deserts and quelled cholera. Today is the birthday of Nuwa, the human goddess. Xian walked in front and led the ministers to worship. Emperor Xian's aura is majestic, and his brows are full of righteousness. Your Majesty, the Nuwa temple is right in front of you, but before you enter the Nuwa temple, you need to take off your weapons. Prime Minister Bigan walked up the road. In comparison, the king's sword is never taken off easily. How can he take it off just because he enters a temple? Huang Fihu, the tiger general on the side, scolded. Nuwa is the goddess of the human race. The king should respect her when she comes to worship. What does it mean to hold a weapon like this? Bigan said. For a while, the civil servants and military generals argued endlessly. Everyone is silent. What the Prime Minister said makes sense. Our human race was created by the goddess Nuwa, and we should be respected, and our emperor is no exception. Civil and military officials throughout the dynasty took off their weapons and armor and corrected their appearance. Xian waved his hand and ordered. Respect the king's order. The ministers responded. Just after Xian took the ministers to take off their armor, rest, and enter the Nuwa temple. In mid-air above the Nuwa temple, 2 Taoists appeared. One had a gloomy face, and the other had a cold face. These 2 people, it was the Taoist monk Ran Deng who sat down at the beginning of the Yuan dynasty and the Taoist Huang Long who meant the 12 disciples. Unexpectedly, This human emperor respected Saint Nuwa so much, Taoist Huanglong said. So what, according to the leader's plan, after today, this human emperor will be a cruel tyrant that everyone wants to beat, the sinister Randeng Taoist smiled disdainfully. Huanglong, follow me in and start the leader's plan to reverse the fate of the Shang dynasty's emperor. The two men disappeared again and entered the Nuwa temple. At this moment, the human emperor Xian looked respectful and was leading the ministers, preparing to worship. Suddenly, a strange wind blew. All the civil and military ministers immediately stopped for a short time. Lost consciousness, even if it is Huang Fihu and other great businessmen, it is the same. From now on, the fate of the great merchant emperor will be rewritten. Randeng Taoist sneered. With a wave of his hand, a cloud of yin qi suddenly appeared and invaded directly into human emperor Xian's body. The yin wind dissipated and the ministers returned to normal. But human emperor Xian, who was originally upright and respectful, suddenly the whole body is full of ferocity and violence. Haha, I didn't expect that the human goddess was so beautiful. A wild and wanton laughter suddenly came from the mouth of Emperor Xian. In the past, Emperor Xian was always the emperor, but his behavior was absolutely not bad. However, when these words came out, it completely changed Emperor Xian's previous image. Civil and military, the faces of the ministers changed with shock. Your Majesty, you must never say this, Bigan hurriedly stepped forward and shouted. Xian respected Bigan very much before, but now, he didn't take Bigan seriously at all. You are just a mere prime minister, I am the human emperor. Do you have the right to interrupt what I am saying? Today I not only want to say something, but also personally write a poem to Nuwa. Get a pen. Human Emperor Xian waved his hand and shouted a strong order. Deputy leader, this plan is done. Yes, only the sage Nuwa paid attention to this. Nuwa became angry and the fortune of the Shang dynasty completely declined. By handing over the Ziki princess, we will definitely be able to steal the throne of the human emperor, and we can also reap the fate of the human race. Hidden in the void, Taoist Randeng and Taoist Huanglong looked happy. Ji Jiao was on the void. Tong Tian sat cross-legged in the void, with Wu Tian's 6 disciples standing behind him. Nu Wa was beside him. Once knew Wa, in order to prevent sudden there was a great danger, so I deliberately left some thoughts on the human race's own golden body. This thought did not have any magical power, but it could transmit what I saw and heard to Nuwa from time to time. Human Emperor Xian had offended her with his words first, and now he wanted to insult her golden body. Suddenly, Nuwa's anger suddenly appeared. How dare a mere human emperor be so presumptuous? Nu Wa shouted angrily, and the holy power was revealed. In an instant, the human race felt like there was great terror. It is rare for a saint to get angry. Not to mention, the saint Nu Wa, who is known for his kindness. In an instant, he was attracted by here comes the attention of all the great powers from the wild world. Did the human emperor offend Nuwa? What is going on? Tisk tisk, the human emperor actually wanted to write a poem on the golden body of Saint Nuwa, and looking at her eyes, she seemed to have evil thoughts. How could the human emperor be like this? The great powers of the prehistoric era were both curious and surprised. Not only the great powers of the prehistoric world paid attention to this place, but also the 3 emperors and 5 emperors of the human race. When they learned that their descendants, the human emperors, dared to be so bold, they immediately became angry. Fuxi was especially angry. Nuwa was his sister, a mere descendant of the emperor, how dared to be so presumptuous. Junior brother Yuanqi is really a good calculator. Although we may lose in the battle to become gods, we can seize the luck of the human race this time. We will suffer losses in becoming gods, but the luck of the human race can make up for it. I smiled with my eyes. I had left a backup plan to let Chan Jiao take the lead in conferring gods. He could withdraw from conferring gods at any time. It is said that Zhijiao is so powerful now, even if he has the strength to defeat Tongtian and Wuxian. But with his caution, he should lead his disciples to withdraw as soon as possible to avoid the loss of his disciples. But he did not, and his purpose was for the fate of the human race. Yuan Shi planned to activate the god-making and at the same time replace the human emperor's court, which would result in a large amount of the fate of the human race. If the human emperor's court changes the huge human luck, if he gets one or two, even if he loses two disciples, it will not be a loss. If I want the human luck, Yuan Shi will naturally be more like it, otherwise he will not be able to set up a god. Such calculation. My plan is natural. No matter how strong Zhijiao is, no matter how powerful he is, he can defeat Feng Shen. If I take away the luck of the human race, I won't lose anything by explaining my teachings. Yuan Shi sneered with confidence. Yuan Shi was very powerful in calculating the heaven and earth. But with Tongtian around, he was still a little bit less powerful. They were destined to fail in becoming a god, and they would also worship in trying to seize luck. Chen. The opportunity to teach others and disciples is unique to the teaching, and the destiny of the human race will also be unique to the teaching. Honghuang, I can reach the sky without realizing the great way, and I will never change my form to author, Honghuang Xiaoan. Chapter 117. He plotted against the human emperor and targeted Nuwa. This was the beginning of becoming a god in the previous life. In one fell swoop, the great success of Chanjiao was confirmed. Seeing Nuwa's anger getting stronger and stronger, Tongtian said indifferently, Nuwa, I'm afraid you have misunderstood the human emperor. Yuan Shi wanted to plot against the human emperor and teach them how to gain luck. How could Tongtian agree? To be honest, Yuan Shi's plan was unknown to others and could not be seen by others. But Tongtian knows too well. Nuwa was made angry, the 3 sovereigns and 5 emperors abandoned her, and the Shang dynasty was over. Jiho, supported by Chanjiao, rose to become the emperor, and Chanjiao stole his luck. What's the situation? We can clearly see what the human emperor did. Why would Saint Tongtian say there was a misunderstanding? Is it possible that there is something we don't know about? But we don't know, it's impossible for Saint Nuwa not to know. All the powerful officials in the prehistoric period were extremely curious. If others said that she had misunderstood what Nuwa had seen with her own eyes, Nuwa would definitely not believe it. But from what Tongtian said, Nuwa had a little doubt. Tongtian, why do you say that? Nuwa stopped her anger and asked. Just use your magical powers to see if the human emperor is still as usual, Tongtian said with a smile. Everything before was transmitted by thoughts, but she did not observe carefully. After saying this, Nuwa immediately used the magical power of a saint. Deputy leader, I won't be discovered, Huang Long Taoist said. It's absolutely impossible, the leader specially gave us the Qingyun of the heavens. Just to prevent Sage Nuwa from investigating and discovering us, so I definitely won't. Taoist Ran Deng, who was hiding in the clouds of heaven, spoke very firmly. The human emperor's plan was the beginning of everything. And he had to hide it from the saint. How could Yuan Shi not be on guard? Before Ran Deng and Taoist Huang Long left the church, they had already he gave the heavenly Qingyun to the 2 of them. This heavenly Qingyun can not only withstand powerful power, but more importantly, it can hide the body and breath. As long as the saint does not make any movements hidden in it, it is difficult for the saint to patrol. Nuwa's magical power after casting, everything in Nuwa temple has been seen. But there is nothing abnormal, as Tongtian said. Tongtian, the human emperor has no problem, Nuwa said. Yet. Tongtian smiled, waved his hand, and saw a mysterious power crossing hundreds of millions of miles of void. The mysterious power swept across Dxian's body. In an instant, he saw a Yin-Ji aura appearing on Dxian's body. Nuwa was Hunyuan. Saint. He saw it in an instant. This yin stalling chi has the ability to tamper with one's nature. And all the great masters in the prehistoric era also saw it. The reason why Emperor Xian did what he did was obviously due to this yin stalling chi. Whose handiwork is this? He actually led the emperor and disrespected the Saint Nuwa. This is not aimed at the human emperor, but at Saint Nuwa. All the great masters in the prehistoric times looked surprised. Laozi's dojo. Yuanqi and Laozi were originally calm. They thought that this plan would definitely come true. But unexpectedly, they deceived Nuwa, but not Tongtian. Now they have been discovered. This plan is about to fail. Who dares to plot against my Nuwa? Nu Wa's scolding shocked the void. Taoist Honghuang, who was hidden in the heavenly clouds, was a little panicked. Deputy leader, Saint Nuwa found out that the emperor of humanity was tampered with by us. Will he find out about us next? Taoist Honghuang asked. We have the blessings of the heavens, as long as we don't make any moves, it should be okay. Randang Taoist was very sure before, but now he has some doubts. Saint Nuwa used the power of a saint to instantly remove the evil spirit from Emperor Xian's body. Human Emperor, let me ask you, who touched you? Nu Wa asked slightly angrily. At this moment, Xian had recovered his intelligence. Although he did not do what he had intended, he still knew what a wrong thing he had done. He quickly saluted respectfully. Saint Nuwa, I don't know. As soon as a gust of wind passed by, I felt that all my actions were out of my control. Xian said with a look of panic. At this moment, Xian was frightened. Although his behavior was not under his control just now, but after he regained his joy, all his actions were in his memory. He was so disrespectful to the majestic human race goddess. Can you wait to find out? Nu Wa asked again to the ministers. Reporting back to Saint Nuwa, we just saw a gust of wind passing by, and the king seemed to have changed. As for the rest, we don't know. Bigan walked out quickly and explained. Saint Nuwa, it was not the king's original intention that I offended you just now. Please don't blame me. Bigan then knelt on the ground and begged repeatedly. Please blame the Saint Nuwa for all things. The ministers also repeatedly begged for mercy. I already know about this matter. It was not the human emperor's intention. It was someone else who plotted against me. Naturally, I will not blame him, Nu Wa said. As soon as he said this, Xian and Bigan's ministers all frowned. However, Laozi and Yuanqi's expressions changed with shock. Their plan was to follow Nu Wa's laws and punish the human emperor severely, which led to the decline of the emperor's fortune in the Shang dynasty. But now Nuwa does not blame or get angry. This means that this strategy has completely failed. The plan was actually ruined by junior brother Tongtian. Yuanqi looked angry. It's not the emperor's fault, but someone else plotted against her, Nuwa. Naturally, Nuwa also had anger in her heart, but she didn't find the person, so she had nowhere to vent her anger. Thinking that the sky knows everyone. The emperor was manipulated, so he must know who plotted against her. So, he quickly turned to Tongtian and asked Tongtian, who is plotting against me, do you know? The person who plots against you is in the Nuwa temple, Tongtian said indifferently. In Nuwa temple? We also took a look, but it seems we didn't find anyone else. That's right, except for the human minister human emperor, there is no one suspicious. The great powers of the prehistoric times are extremely curious. Tongtian, I just looked at it and didn't notice it, Nuwa said. That's because they hid it with a treasure. Tongtian waved his hand again. Mysterious power suddenly appeared. Suddenly, a cloud of purple light appeared in the void of Nuwa temple. Then, two figures appeared in the cloud of purple light. Who else could be there besides Taoist Randeng and Taoist Huanglong? I thought Zushan Qingyun could hide the two of them, but unexpectedly he was exposed. At this moment, the two of them looked panicked and confused. How could their leader Zushan Qingyun be discovered with such hidden abilities? What do we do now? The deputy leader of Chanxiao, Taoist Ran Deng, and the disciple of Chanxiao, Taoist Huang Long. It's them. Why do they plot against Saint Nuwa? All the powerful officials in the prehistoric times looked surprised. It's you two, plotting against me. Extremely abominable. Nu Wa was furious for a moment. Shen Gui was on the verge of erupting. However, the bellicose ape came out with a strong fighting and killing intent in his eyes. Saint Nuwa, why do you need to personally take action against these two people? Thongbrachial monkey laughed. What's the situation? Is it possible that this thong-armed ape wants to take action on behalf of Saint Nuwa? Although the ape is very strong and controls the demon clan, after all, it can only kill 3 corpses. That Taoist Ran Deng is the deputy leader of the Chan sect, and Taoist Huang Long is also a disciple of the Chan sect, and they are both the ones who killed the 3 corpses. Can he fight 2 people alone? All the powerful people in the prehistoric times were surprised one after another. Saint Nuwa, this is the dispute between the Jijiao and Chanjiao sections. Don't you let me, the juniors, ask you to deal with them, said the Tongbai ape. Nuwa glanced at Tong Tien. Tong Tien, what do you think? Asked Nuwa. The apes are warlike, so since you have such an idea, then you let him deal with the 2 of them for you, which can be regarded as the beginning of the first battle between the Jijiao and the Chanjiao, Tong Tien Deo. Okay, then go ahead, Tibabari. However, I don't want to see the 2 of them escape. Obviously, what Nuwa means is that if you take action, you must let the 2 of them die. Saint Nuwa, don't worry, they will die today. The arm-armed ape smiled confidently. A demonic aura was revealed, and the ape's demonic body came out of the sky. The 3rd disciple of my sect, the through-armed monkey, begins the first battle to become a god. All junior brothers are watching. The 3rd senior brother sends Taoist Randong off first. Taoist Huang Long is on the list. A scolding sound spread throughout the void. The voice was unruly and fierce. Honghuang, I can reach the sky without realizing the great way, and I will never change my form to author, Honghuang Xiaoan. Chapter 118. Ran Deng, Huang Long, you two, why don't you come up and die? In just a blink of an eye, the monkey demon god has arrived above the human void. Is this the legendary demon clan? This demon clan is so terrifying, just the demon energy that it breathes out is like thunder from the sky and fire from the earth. Many human races have a look of fear on their faces. They once taught the 12 disciples, but they all suffered losses at the hands of the ape. When he saw the ape, Taoist Huang Long, who was the 12 disciples, had a look on his face. Fearful attitude. Deputy leader, how come this 10,000 demon king cobra armed monkey has become the 3rd disciple of the Ji cult? Taoist Huang Long looked confused. They were busy with various calculations and arrangements before, and did not pay attention to the return of the 6 disciples of Jijiao. So not only Taoist Huang Long, but also Taoist Ran Deng was a little confused. Deputy leader, what should we do now? Huang Long's eyes were filled with a bit of fear. Ran Deng's face was crossed, with a bit of greed on his face. Since the 10,000 demon king, the band-armed ape, wants to fight the 2 of us in the name of a sectarian dispute, the 2 of us will kill him. The 10,000 demon king band-armed monkey is in charge of the demon clan, so there must be countless opportunities, but I am thinking about it. Randang Taoist said with greed on his face. However, that Brachiosaurus is so powerful. Huang Long thought of the scene in those days when the thong-armed ape used a battle to teach the 12 disciples. How powerful is it? The 2 of us have killed 3 corpses, and the heavens are still celebrating. How can we be afraid of him? Let's go, Huang Long will follow me and fight with him. The burning lanterns offered sacrifices to the heavens to celebrate the clouds in the sky. Huanglong hesitated for a moment and followed closely. Although Huanglong was afraid of the monkeys, he also wanted the same opportunity as the burning lanterns. What a chance for the demon clan and the king of monsters. Profound. Two sneaky people were finally willing to die. Randeng is the deputy leader of the Chan sect, and Huanglong is also one of the 12 disciples of the Chan sect. When the two heard about the sneaky people, they were instantly furious. Thread-armed ape, you actually insulted us like this. No matter you are the king of 10,000 demons or the third disciple of Ji Xiao, you will definitely die today. Randeng Taoist appeared with angry eyes. Just because you and the other two can make me die. Joke. Let's talk about it first if you can catch my stick. The ape roared loudly, like thunder roaring. The powerful and manic law of violence suddenly appeared on the demon body. The ape is in charge of the demon clan, and possesses the luck of the demon clan. In addition, the ape cultivates 10,000 ways. Xiangong, chaos fire, and the law of violence are perfect. With these additions, the ape monkey can be almost invincible in killing 3 corpses. What a strong breath! This 10,000 demon king cobra armed monkey is really not simple. With such a strong aura, the through-branched ape is capable enough to fight too. However, Randeng Taoist and Huanglong Taoist have the Zushan Qingyun of the Yuanqi Saint. I wonder if the thong-armed ape can kill both of them with one person as mentioned before. A group of great powers said. The law of violence was condensed to the extreme. The ape demon body rose across the sky, violently reaching the sky. It was as powerful as thunder. The sky-raising stick became 10,000 times bigger, and it contained the law of violence and struck down with one blow. The blow was like the bombardment of thousands of thunders. When the stick was blasted out, its power was instantly felt by the great power. This stick, extremely powerful. Many of the great powers who were watching the battle were capable of killing 3 corpses. But after feeling the power, no great power was sure to catch the stick intact. The great powers who were watching the battle were far away. This power can be felt from hundreds of millions of miles away. Taoist Randeng and Taoist Huanglong who are right in front of them naturally feel it even more profoundly. Zushan Qingyun has been in the hands of Taoist Randeng all the time. Seeing this terrifying blow, Taoist Randeng didn't show any sign of it. Without hesitation, he sacrificed Zushan Qingyun to resist. Taoist Huanglong can be said to be the poorest among the 12 disciples. He has an offensive treasure, but no defensive treasure. Huanglong Taoist quickly used his only attack treasure. I want to use it to resist 1 or 2 attacks. But compared to the attack of the simian monkey and its violence. How can Huanglong Taoist resist it? When the stick fell, Huanglong Taoist's only attack treasure was instantly shattered. Huanglong Taoist's face was shocked. Change, and quickly wanted to escape to Taoist Randeng, using the Taoist Randeng's Zushan Qingyun to resist. But unfortunately, his speed was slow. A stick finally came. The law of violence directly blasted his body into pieces. And the fire of his soul was also extinguished in the blink of an eye, like a candle in the wind. Taoist Huanglong was completely taken away. On the other side, Lantern offered sacrifices to Zushan Qingyun to resist. It must be said that Zushan Qingyun defended very good. Under the attack of the brute, Randeng Taoist was not injured at all. However, he could see that there were already cracks on the Qingyun in the sky. This is the most precious treasure of a saint. This, the thong-armed ape is too terrifying. It only killed Taoist Huanglong with one blow, but it also blasted the saint's treasure into cracks. All the great masters in the prehistoric times made a lot of surprises. Taoist Randeng, who was hiding in Zushan Qingyun, was confused in his eyes and panicked. This was Zushan Qingyun, and his leader had said that under the saint, but no one can break through the defense. Why is there a crack? What should I do? Randeng, Do you think you can't die by hiding in this defensive treasure? The same goes for you today. Let's see how many of my defense treasures you can withstand. The thong-armed ape sneered. The violent law of the sky stick showed again. What's the situation? Are you preparing to blow up the heavenly Qingyun of the Yuanqi saint? The eyes of the great power suddenly flashed. He blasted a saint's defensive treasure, which was unique in the world. The violent power of a stick struck down. There was a crack in the sky. One stick after another. The crack. More and more. Ran Deng in Zhu Tianqingyun is getting more and more panicked. But no one has ever told him that a saint's treasure can be exploded by a 3-zoom corpse. Zhu Tianqing, if Yun is really beaten up, his own fate can be imagined. Third senior brother is so mighty. Third senior brother is so violent. Zhijiao looked at the disciples here with admiration on their faces. In Laozi's dojo, Yuanqi's face was dark. It's just that the plan failed. But now he has lost a disciple first, and then he has to see that his deputy leader is about to be killed. Fight and kill. Finally, Zushan Qingyun could not withstand the violent bombardment of the thong-armed ape. Bang! A sound that shook the world came out. Zushan Qingyun was beaten to pieces by a monkey. A saint's treasure was turned into pieces. The eyes of Taoist Ran Den were stunned. Before, Zushan Qingyun, he was just flustered. But now that Zushan Qingyun was gone, he was immediately frightened. In his previous life, this Ran Den Taoist was a complete villain. His various villain actions had harmed many people in Zhijiao. In the end, he hid west. However, it is a pity that in this life, he has no chance. Leader, save me! Randeng Taoist shouted wildly. Want to survive? You have no chance. I'll put you on the list. The ape shouted and hit the sky with a stick. In Laozi's dojo, Yuanqi, who was sitting cross-legged in the void, gradually became angry. In the battle of the gods, he lost a disciple at the beginning, and now even the deputy leader has to be lost. He can't sit still. How dare you? Yuanqi shouted sharply. One at saint's supernatural powers descended from the sky. The saint of Yuanqi is going to save the burning lamp. Tisk tisk, if the saint of Yuanqi saves the lamp, he will definitely kill the monkey, so how can the two saints of Zhijiao watch helplessly? Could it be that the battle between the conferred god sect has just begun, and is it going to be a battle between saints? The expressions of surprise on the faces of all the great masters in the prehistoric period showed great expressions. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Honghuang, I can reach the sky without realizing the great way, and I will never change my form to author, Honghuang Xiaoan. Chapter 119. Thread-armed ape, kill my disciples, and also kill my deputy leader. I will kill you first. The divine power of the saint of Yuanqi was so powerful. The holy power swept the heaven and earth, and filled the air with murderous intent. Yuanqi, if you want to destroy my junior brother, how can I let you succeed? The demonic sound of demonic Saint Wuxian came out across the sky. Tisk tisk, Zhijiao really has a saint. Could it be that today we are really going to start a battle of saints? It has been a long time since we started the battle of saints. All the great masters in the prehistoric era really want to witness the battle of saints again. From it, we can understand some of the laws and magical powers. Is this the power of a saint? The power of the two saints towering over the human race is so terrifying. The eyes of the human Emperor Xian and the ministers were full of fear. There is no magic. The power of the Wuxian demon was strong, and a magical power sniped out across the sky. Two saint magical powers bombarded together. In an instant, only a sound that shook the world was heard. Above the human void, a terrifying air wave swept out, and the turbulent flow of time and space is extremely confusing. What a terrifying saint's magical power. Tisk tisk, the two saints just randomly exchanged magical powers, but they actually caused turbulence in the space. If we were among them, I would be dead in just one breath. All the great masters from the ancient world looked at them with astonishment and were amazed. Is this the saint's anger? It's so terrible. Such a terrible phenomenon in the void is no less than the collapse of Mount Buzhu back then. Among the human race, in addition to the 3 sovereigns and 5 emperors, there are also powerful beings who have experienced the ancient innate human race. These innate human races have experienced many catastrophes. Facing the scene before them, they all feel fear. As expected of our senior brother. Big Brother is awesome. When all the disciples of Zhijiao saw Wuxin resisting Yuanqi's magical power, they all shouted loudly, and their eyes were full of admiration. Third junior brother, feel free to do it. Wuxin Moyin screamed, even though it was only a brief sound transmission. But it has already been expressed that Yuanqi will leave all attacks to him. The monkey can safely kill the burning lamp. Wuxin, you dare to stop me? Court death. Yuanqi shouted. The holy power came directly from the sky. The holy power of the first saint has arrived, and it seems that the war of saints is really about to begin. Tisk tisk, the battle of saints, the greatest battle in the world. The bombardment of the saint's magical power is far less exciting than the battle with the saint in person. The sect war is started by your interpretation of religion. If you want to fight, I will accompany you to fight, so what? Wuxin demonic power roared out. In an instant, the fighting spirit of the saints filled the void. The powerful auras resisted each other. I saw that the battle of the saints was about to begin. However, the purple lotus suddenly fell from the sky. A figure appeared. The person who came was the saint of heaven. Honghuang. Why is Daezo here? In an instant, a group of great masters were astonished. Stop it! The indifferent voice came out, and the saintly auras of Wuxin and Yuanqi were instantly suppressed. Nuwa, who was above Zhijiao, looked very curious when she saw Daezu appear. Tongtian, why did the teacher show up? Asked Nuwa. To stop the saint from starting a war. Tongtian smiled lightly and said. Why? Nuwa asked in confusion. Because the saint starts the war too early, it will affect the battle of the gods. The battle of the gods is about calamity, and he will not allow anyone to destroy it. When Honghuang appeared, Tongtian was not surprised at all. It could even be said that it was expected. The war between gods and gods was calculated, and everything was just to break the calamity. No matter who he was in the prehistoric era, even if he was a saint, he could not affect the plan to break the calamity. Dao ancestor is Dao ancestor, he is so strong and follows his words. All the powerful people in the prehistoric times discussed one after another. The saints are not allowed to start a war until the calamity is over. The indifferent voice seemed to be a shock, but also a warning. Yuanqi's face turned sad. Teacher. Yuanqi was unwilling to let his deputy leader and disciples die, and wanted to say something. But as soon as the voice came out, he hadn't finished speaking yet. Honghuang continued. The battle for the conferment of gods started because of calamity. I already told you when you received the conferment of gods list. Do you need me to say more? Yuanqi's face froze. The meaning of this sentence is to shock and warn, which is even more obvious. The heaven and earth measure calamity, and the gods are decrypted. Who lives and who dies is calamity and destiny. No one in Honghuang can stop it. Honghuang warned the world indifferently and flew away across the sky. Wuxin, come back. Tongtian had already expected that Yuanqi would not dare to take action, so he shouted indifferently. The way of heaven intends to prevent the calamity, and Tongtian is not the same. It is precisely because of this that it was Wuxin who went out before. Otherwise, he would have arrived personally from Tongtian, and then he would have. It's not just a battle of saints, It's a battle of killing saints. Is teacher. After Wuxian nodded, the holy power returned from the sky. Taoist Ran Deng thought that Yuan Shi would appear and save his life. But unexpectedly, Tao ancestor appeared and said that the saint could not start a war to stop it. What does this mean? This is I want him to burn his lantern to death. Leader, save me. Randang kept shouting. The Taoist ancestor said that if the calamity continues, the saints should not start a war. Your leader can only watch you die. The thong-branched ape laughed fiercely. Kill. Just now, the Taoist ancestors arrived, and everything in the world was banned. But when the Taoist ancestors left, the restrictions were lifted, and the sky-holding stick fell suddenly. With just one stick, the Randeng Taoist body was shattered. The fire of the soul was directly extinguished. The existing Huanglong Taoist, and now there is another, there were Taoist Randeng who were all taken away directly. At this moment, on the list of gods in the void that was enlarged 10,000 times. Suddenly there were two more names, Master Huanglong and Taoist Randeng. Taoist Huanglong and Randeng Taoist are on the list. Tisk tisk, all of a sudden the deputy leader and one of the 12 disciples were on the list. This is just the beginning, I don't know what it will be like in the future. The great masters of the prehistoric era said. The anger in Yuanxi's eyes was like a volcano erupting. It also contained strong murderous intent. But Desu just showed up in person and had already warned him. No matter how angry he was, he still wanted to kill Tongzi. The ape, but could only endure it. After giving a cold look to the ape, he turned back. When leaving, you can imagine how painful it was to hold back the murderous intention and anger. Hey, there seems to be some movement in the list of gods. It seems that someone is on the list. The plan to intercept the coach has not yet begun. How come someone is on the list? The disciples of Chan Xiao, who were busy with various calculations and arrangements, finally had some free time at this moment. Several of them discovered the changes in the conferred gods list. Seeing that there were names on the conferred gods list, they immediately looked at it carefully. The deputy leader of the Chan sect, Taoist Randeng, was beheaded by the third disciple of the Ji sect, the through-armed monkey. Taoist Huanglong, a disciple of the Chan cult, was beheaded by the three-armed monkey, the third disciple of the Ji cult. The list of gods was written in great detail. In an instant, the expressions of all the disciples of Chan Jiao changed in shock. Why are the deputy leader and junior brother Huanglong on the list? Also, how did the thongbrachial ape become the third disciple of Ji Xiao? Suddenly such a big change occurred. The disciples of Chan Jiao gathered together in an instant. Senior brother, how could this be? How did the thong-armed ape who once almost killed us become the third disciple of Ji Xiao? Also, the deputy leader and junior brother Huanglong planned to tamper with the emperor's destiny in Kaoch, and now they were killed by the viper apes. Doesn't this prove that the attempt to tamper with the emperor's destiny has failed? Several Chan Jiao disciples asked one after another. Huangchenzi has also been busy with Yuanxi's calculations, so naturally he doesn't know. The look of confusion on his face is the same as that of other junior disciples. Before, we were busy with the teacher's calculations, but we neglected to pay attention to the prehistoric events. Now that something unexpected happened and we didn't know everything, we were caught off guard. Huangchenzi sighed. They were all convinced that Yuanxi's plan was complete. That's why they didn't pay attention to other things at all and only acted according to Yuanxi's plan. But now they were a little panicked. At this time, the 12 disciples Tai Genren among them walked out with a somewhat sinister look in his eyes. Senior brother, I don't think there was anything that caught me off guard. Although the deputy leader and junior brother Huanglong accidentally appeared on the list, they missed the plan to tamper with the fate of the emperor. But there are still me and my disciples. The teacher's plan was to let my disciples and I trigger the cholera song of the dragon clan. This could also ruin the destiny of the emperor of the Shang dynasty. Tai Genren said. Yes, I almost forgot that the teacher had this plan. Huang Qinzi's eyes moved. Junior brother Tai, start this plan quickly. With the fate of the human emperor ruined, it's time for junior brother Xia to assist Jiho, Huang Qinzi said. Yes, senior brother. Master Tai nodded and walked away with a smile. Honghuang, I can reach the sky without realizing the great way, and I will never change my form to author, Honghuang Xiaoan. Chapter 120. Kaoch, Chintaguan. It has been 6 years since Tai Genren's disciple transformed into the son of Li Jing, the commander-in-chief of Chintaguan. As a disciple of a saint, he is an arrogant and dandy man. Already known as the Little Devil King in Chintaguan. And all of this is part of Yuanqi's calculations. Disturbing Chintaguan, causing cholera among the dragon clan, chanting at Chintaguan, and ruining the fate of the emperor. Neza, it's time to start. After Master Tai separated from his senior brothers, he arrived at Chintaguan and hid in the clouds to send a message to Neza. Neza, who was playing in Chintaguan, was shocked when he heard this. It's finally here, kill the dragon. This young master has been thinking about it for a long time. Neza is holding a fire-pointed spear, wearing a Hun Tianling, a Kinkan circle on his belt, and stepping on hot wheels. Neza's body rises across the sky and heads directly towards the East China Sea. This time, if my master and disciple can complete the teacher's plan to lead the dragon, I will be the first to turn the great Shang around and win the title of God. Tai Genren smiled confidently. The dragon clan got Tongtian's guidance and was able to develop and continue. After worshipping Tongtian as its respecter, the dragon clan obtained the enlightenment tea, and its strength suddenly soared. With the saint behind it, and the strength of the clan, it was already strong. The dragon clan no longer chooses to hide and travels all over the world. The dragon clan has Ao Jin as its leader, and now it has 4 emperors. The East Emperor is headed by Ao Guang, the Dragon King of the East China Sea. Today, Ao Bing, the third son of the Dragon King Ao Guang of the East China Sea, has trained tens of thousands in the year. He finally got permission from his father to go out to sea for some fun. Call. There was a roar of dragons and tigers, and waves rose in the sea. Ao Bing was swimming in the sky, feeling very uncomfortable. As the son of Ao Guang, Ao Bing was born only more than 100,000 years ago, and he has already reached the 9th level of the Golden Immortal. Among the younger generations of the Dragon Clan, it can be said to be an outstanding existence. Neza searched hard for the Dragon Clan and circled the East China Sea several times. Finally, he waited until Ao Bing went to sea. That Dragon Clan, die. Neza's tone was very arrogant. Ao Bing, who was flying in the sky, heard the sound and stared at Long Muo. Where did you come from, little baby? Get out of here, I don't have time to play with you. Seeing that it was a human baby, Ao Bing instinctively thought it was just a human naughty child and was not interested in paying attention. Although Neza transformed into a human child, he had practiced several Yuanhui. In terms of age, he was older than Ao Bing is much older. Neza is instinctively angry at being called a little baby. Not to mention, the purpose of his coming here is to kill the Dragon Clan. If you dare to say that I, Neza, am a little baby, I will kill you. Neza stepped on the hot wheel and moved his fire-tip spear across the sky, intending to kill Ao Bing. Dragon Clan cultivation is not like ordinary people's miserable cultivation. The Dragon Clan's cultivation method is fighting. Continuous fighting, endless fighting. The incarnation of the senior Dragon Clan, as well as the strange beasts found by the Dragon Clan, finished fighting this one today, and that one tomorrow. After fighting for tens of thousands of years, Ao Bing was about to vomit. Now he finally has the opportunity to travel. Someone asked him to fight. He was too lazy to answer. The dragon's body flew into the air and whizzed past. Neza's Hot Wheels were very fast, but they couldn't compare with the dragons who were born with the ability to control the air and water. When Neza just chased after him, Ao Bing had already traveled across thousands of miles. At this speed, even the Neza could not catch up. Now Neza was stunned. He came to kill the dragon, but he could not catch up with this dragon. "Teacher, what should I do?" Neza hurriedly shouted into the void. Taigenren, who was hiding in the clouds, also paused. "Aren't the dragon clan very warlike? Aren't they the most unstimulated? Why did my disciple threaten to kill him, but he ignored him? Fight? Just imagine, fighting every day, fighting for tens of thousands of years. Who would be willing to fight if he vomits when he sees fighting?" Seeing that Ao Bing is about to run away, Master Tai will naturally not allow it. "My disciple, don't panic. I'm here, he can't run away." Taigenren has practiced countless Yuanhui with Yuanshi Tianzun, and has already reached the level of killing 3 corpses. Although he is not the top 3 corpse killing power, his power is naturally not weak. "Just Xiaolong, if I let you run away, how can my teacher's plan come true? How can I get the credit of my master and apprentice?" Master Tai sneered and waved his hand. Ban! There was a roar. In an instant, the powerful power of law suddenly appeared. In an instant, billions of miles of void were imprisoned. Ao Bing, who was originally traveling, only felt that he had hit an invisible wall. What happened? Ao Bing was trying to use his own magic power to bombard the void in front of him. Although Ao Bing is from the Dragon Clan, his ability to control the air and water is great. But after all, he is only at the 9th level of the Golden Immortal. How can he break through the confinement of the quasi-sage's law of killing 3 corpses? "Xiaolong, it's your turn to be beheaded by my disciples today, you can't leave." Master Tai sneered and revealed his figure. The quasi-sage who killed 3 corpses, Ao Bing's pupils shrank. Obviously, Ao Bing had noticed the appearance of Master Tai. The appearance of the human child was not accidental. It was deliberately targeted. "This is in the East China Sea. If you kill me, my father, the Emperor, and the Dragon Clan will never let you go if they find out," Ao Bing shouted coldly. "Our master and disciple want you, the Dragon Clan, to not let us go," Genren Tai sneered. "The purpose of killing the dragon is to draw out the Dragon Clan. And the more rioting the Dragon Clan, the better. This is what Genren Tai wants. Only in this way can the fate of the great businessman Huang decline. If Neza doesn't take action now, when will he wait?" Taigenren shouted in the void. "Yes, teacher, this disciple will destroy this dragon." After Neza nodded in response, he stared at Ao Bing with a sneer. "Dragon Clan, your death has come." Neza's murderous intent filled the air, and fire-tipped spears shot out across the sky. "You are only at the 5th level of the Golden Immortal, and you want to kill me." Ao Bing didn't want to fight, but the space was banned by the quasi-saint. He couldn't leave, and naturally he couldn't sit still and wait for death. He didn't want to pay attention to Neza before, firstly because he was tired of fighting too much. Secondly, he saw that Neza's level was too low. He is only at the 5th level of the Golden Immortal. And he, Ao Bing, is already at the 9th level of the Golden Immortal. The body of the Dragon Clan is inherently powerful. Even in the same realm, with his extremely powerful body, he can easily defeat him. Not to mention that Neza is lower than him. 4 small realms. Ao Bing's eyes were filled with contempt and disdain. He, Neza, was a disciple of a saint and considered himself to be of noble status. Now that he was looked down upon by others, his heart suddenly burst into anger. "Come to death." The gun flashed with flames and stabbed directly into Ao Bing's body. Bass. The sound of Jinji came out. Neza was stunned. This shot just now was an angry blow. Its power can be said to have reached his strongest state. However, the attack was within the dragon scales of Ao Bing's dragon body. It just caused a burst of sparks. The dragon clan is so strong? The dragon clan has a strong physical body, and its dragon scale defense is stronger. Hunshin Ling. Qincan Circle. Neza was stunned for a moment, and then offered 2 treasures. Little baby, these magic weapons of yours can't hurt me, Ao Bing continued to smile disdainfully. Neza's magic weapon is just an acquired spiritual treasure. If it can be upgraded to an acquired treasure, it may be possible. It's a little baby, and it's ridiculing. Neza can't stand it even more. Hunshin Ling, come out. In front of Qincan, come out. Neza shouted loudly, and the 2 treasures launched an attack. I gave you a blow before, now it's time for me to take action. Ao Bing shouted coldly. The dragon's body showed a violent aura of power. With one blow, the dragon's tail swept out. It was as if it was sweeping away the world. Bang! 2 sensational sounds came out. I saw that the Hunshin Ling Qincan launched by Neza was directly blown away. Neza's face changed. But before he could react, the dragon's tail had already hit him on top of his body. In an instant, Neza's blood spurted wildly, and his body flew thousands of miles upside down. The original majestic and arrogant attitude was gone. What was left was just a mess. Ao Bing had been practicing for many years, and the senior dragon clan had a saying that he recorded in his heart. The dragon clan either won't start a war easily, or if they want to fight, they must not give the enemy any chance to breathe. Seeing that Neza was seriously injured, Ao Bing Long attacked across the air. The dragon's tail and claws attacked continuously for a while. In the void, Tai Genren paused stopped. I thought it would be absolutely no problem for my disciples to deal with the dragon clan. But now I am almost beaten. After enduring several blows from Ao Bing, Neza's body was seriously injured, and the fire of the soul was dim. Teacher, help me quickly. Neza shouted in a panic.